Hi everyone, it's great to see you back. Have you ever wondered how to take a simple reference photo and turn it into a beautiful painting? In today's video, I'll walk you through my creative process from capturing the essence of nature and transferring it onto paper. And I'll also share some tips that will help you make the most out of your reference photos and elevate your artwork. Let's dive right in. It was a lovely morning and we decided to bring the kids to the playground at the Taman Tun Park. I love coming here as they have a huge lake right in the middle and clean rivers perfect for soaking in all nature's beauty. By the river, I noticed some of these charming baby blue flowers. For some reason, they caught my eye and I thought they would make a great subject for a painting. So on I went and took lots of photos for references later. It's a good idea to experiment with various angles and backgrounds, capturing both distant views and close-up macro shots. This is to ensure that we get a diverse range of compositions. And when you're ready, select a photo that has a strong composition, a good lighting, and rich detail. This will serve as the foundation of your artwork. I like to analyze and plan out my painting first with a really simple thumbnail sketch. It will give me a rough idea how the painting will turn out, and I can play around, make some adjustments, and maybe tweak certain things to fit the style that I'm going for. While outlining the flowers, notice that the flowers do turn and bend in different directions. The angle of the flowers affects the appearance of the petals, making some looking larger and smaller depending on their position. For example, we have here this flower that's tilting slightly backwards, so the petals on top will be shorter and more compact, while those at the bottom will be drawn much longer. This will give the flowers more flow and movement, making it look more three-dimensional and lifelike. The next thing I will go for is creating depth. Here we can see that some flowers are growing above and some growing just under. Flowers that are below will have shadows from the top flowers and they would appear slightly darker. So I'm going to apply some shading to emphasize the area. Once I have the basic outline of the main subjects drawn out, it's time to step back and look at it as a whole. To create a better composition, I'm thinking also to include the flowers in the background and then some leaves branching outwards. Now I'm going to draw a box around it, and this frame gives a better idea how I like to further improve the composition. Giving some branches to our focal point will help to ground it in the center. And then I think I might add some softer flowers in the backgrounds on the left to balance out the ones on the right. Now I'm playing around with the composition and seeing what works for me, but I guess I'll just go with the flow and see how it turns out during the painting process. Alright, so the sketch is done. It's time to choose our colors. I would like to keep the same blue hues for the flowers, and I'm mixing in some French ultramarine blue. To spice things up a little, I'll add in a bit of purple to the petals. I was inspired by these purple flowers, so I thought this color would do well together too. Then for the leaves, instead of going for those pre-mixed greens on your palette, try creating your own green using back our main subject's color, which is ultramarine blue. Because here's a quick tip, this method ensures that the greens of the leaves harmonizes better with the flowers and the rest of your artwork. This will strengthen the overall unity of your composition. Using this technique can help to integrate the elements and bring your whole composition together. For the last color, I just throw in some neutral tint for the darker shadows. And here's a quick check to see if the hues are similar. For the first layer, let's start with keeping it light and soft. I'm also adding a touch of purple to give the flower some variation. This will be our highlights in the painting. Then with the next few layers, we will work on building up the shadows, which I will show you later. And then I start working on filling in the branches and leaves, varying between warmer and cooler greens. For warmer greens, just add more yellow to the ultramarine blue, and for the cooler greens, add more blue with lesser yellow. To build depth, I add in some neutral tint into my green mixture, and that will give me some lovely dark greens for a good contrast. As I start moving outwards and into the background, I'm going to use softer hues to create that dreamy effect. Grab one of your big flat soft brushes, pull and blend the colors outwards like so. Doing this helps to soften the edges. And then feel free to go back in and add more paints to darken the areas as needed. The goal is to have the colors blend off and disappear into the background like a fog. To improve the composition in the background, I'm going to add some harder lines around the soft background to give some interesting effects. Now I'll go in with the purples and blues for some softer flowers in the further background. Once the layer is done, it's time to get into the fun part. Let's add these tiny details of the veins in the flowers, and then further darkening the shadows around the stems to give more contrast. I'm always taking a step back to study the entire composition, and it feels like the background needs more work. So I'm going to add more stems, leaves, and some flowers to make this bouquet look bigger and fuller. Overall, I'm really pleased with how this one turned out. It feels like a bouquet of wildflowers offered to the fairies. I don't know, I guess I've been reading lots of children's books to my toddler lately, and it's interesting how my subconscious translated that whimsical, imaginative quality into the painting. It's amazing how our minds work, isn't it? A lot of the work really lies in the preparation before the brush even touches the canvas. The actual painting is just a small percentage of the entire process. The more effort you put in planning, the more likely you're going to achieve satisfying results. But of course, there are also days when diving straight into the painting process can be equally rewarding and fun. So don't let this discourage you from creating. I hope you find this insight helpful in your own artistic journey. For the last step, as you would already know, I always end with some white gouache to bring out the highlights. And that's the end of the painting process. The full process video will be up on Patreon soon, so do check it out. If you haven't already done so, do subscribe for more videos like this. Also give a like if you enjoyed watching me paint. That's all from me, and I'll see you in the next one.